Kids, we are talking about extreme weather. Nothing is more extreme than a cyclone. Cyclones are called hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, typhoons in the Western Pacific. In the Eastern Pacific, they tend to be called cyclones as well. And these names just evolved over time. Most of them happen in the northern hemisphere because, as you remember from your sea surface temperature maps and animations, a lot of warm water exists to the north. So if you put down a little rotation from rainfall forming, let's say, that rotation can get stronger and stronger and carry more and more water and winds. How? Basically, it begins to pick up water from the ocean, water vapor. Remember evaporation, energy lost from the ocean, put into the atmosphere, and the atmosphere condenses the water vapor and releases energy and, of course, causes a rainfall. So cyclones can get massive, even 1,000 kilometers large, and they get all their energy from the oceans, which means when they touch land, they can begin to break up into pieces and dissipate, or often they just go off into the ocean away from land towards the northern latitudes in the Atlantic and Pacific. But in the Indian Ocean, there is land to the north, so they crash into land almost all the time, right? So if global warming is causing more warm oceans, then the number of cyclones don't necessarily increase, but they can get very strong because of warm oceans evaporating more, giving them more energy, and the intensification of the cyclone can get very strong, very fast. Okay, there are scales with which cyclones are measured, and depends on the wind speeds and so on, and that relates to how much damage can be caused. But cyclone damage often comes from the waters they bring in, and as sea level rises, it can bring much more water onto land. And the winds of the broken pieces of the cyclone on land and the rain can also cause lots of loss of lives and houses and livelihoods of people like fishermen, farmers, and so on. Okay, basically it's a very natural phenomenon. Question is always, if you keep warming the oceans and warming the atmosphere, what happens to them? Will they grow in number? Will they become stronger and stronger over time and so on? This science is a bit complicated, but you just need to remember that we need to protect ourselves against the risks of cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, and especially if they're getting stronger, we need to predict them better as well.